Hello, everyone. Welcome to Magickal Witchy World TV. I am Starr Ravenhawk.
And I am Rhonda Alin. Welcome back, everyone.
Yes,
I
yes,
guess
yes. It's so good to be back tonight. And are we going to do our guest clip as if it's us and then go into a show?
yes, yes.
Okay, all right. So then let's. Okay, I'm going to warn everyone ahead of time. I have water and I've got my margarita because it's that kind of show tonight. So if you
And
see me drinking
I got
something,
my
it's one or the other.
heart.
One or the other. My
I got a
margarita or
hard
my water.
cider,
One or the other. Okay.
and
So
I
tonight we
I have
do.
hard cider over here.
There we go. We got the hard stuff in, girl. We got the hard stuff.
Yes, yes.
So tonight, we do not have a guest tonight because Michael Herkes was supposed to be here tonight and he was unable to make it. So he'll reschedule
Yes,
with us and we'll let him come back with you guys. So,
yes.
and last week we had Jason Myers from Comic Con, but right now we're going to kind of go into what do you want to do first, Jason Myers Comic Con or the current affairs?
I let's talk about Jason first, and then let's go because that's yeah. Let's talk about Jason and Comic Con and your
Okay, all right, okay,
experience.
sounds good, sounds good.
Um,
Okay, so
yeah,
yeah, go ahead then. You go ahead, hon.
the panel. I know you were invited to join the panel and you were attending
Yeah.
with several other people. Tell us your experience.
Oh, okay, great. So I was really honored to be part of the panel. It was, let's see, Judy Ann Knock. She is the one who invited us because I believe she is with, I'm not sure if it's Wiser Books, one of them. I don't want to say the wrong name, so I'm not
Mhm.
pretend I did not say Wiser Books. Okay, because I know it's one of them. But anyways, and she welcomed us to join her on this panel. It was Julianne, Michael Herkes, Jason Myers, who was here with us last week, and myself. And it was really a great day. I'd never been to Comic Con before. So that was my first time. And we had, I would say, a really wonderful time. We did the panel itself, and we were, kind of concerned, like, is there going to be people interested in witches? And there were a lot of people that came and were, we had a great group of people in the room, and
Hmm.
we had great questions that were asked of us, and we were able to respond to them as best we can. And I think it was very well received because everyone enjoyed it. And like I said, I was very honored to be part of them. It was called Witches After Dark at Comic Con. And then, of course, I spent the
Excellent.
rest of the
Okay.
day
Okay.
going to a lot of different things that was going on. I went to the panel with what you call it? Bloody hell, what's that one? But Godzilla -1.
Oh,
The
love.
the person who
Okay.
the person who created Godzilla -1. So I was there at
Yes.
that. So that was interesting. And I was like going, yay, it's the 70th anniversary, I think, 70 years of Godzilla. And I was really kind of angry
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
no,
Wow.
like fun angry because I did not realize Godzilla -1 made Godzilla the villain, like villain. I'm like, stop. And
Oh,
everybody's going, well, that was the best one
yeah.
ever. And I'm like, I don't know. I've always seen Godzilla as, I just think human beings are so bloody fickle because throughout
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
70 years of Godzilla, he has always come through for humans in one form or another. Comes in some
Yeah.
other monster is kicking the human's ass, and then everybody goes, there, let's get Godzilla awake and he'll help us. And he comes in and he charges
Yep.
in and he saves humans' butts and then walks
Saves
his
the
butt
day.
away, all big and bad, and goes back to sleep. And then they make him into a complete villain in Godzilla -1. So imagine my surprise. I'm like, I am not watching that movie. I am sorry, but you are not gonna be like
Ah.
all this time you call on him, he comes in, saves your asses, and now you're gonna make him in a complete villain. I'm not watching it. I'm boycotting it. I'm not doing it. That
Yeah,
just seems like I'm the only fan of Godzilla in
I
my
get you.
head. In my head, the way I see him through every
No,
Godzilla movie
I
that
can
I
actually
recall,
say
he always came through.
I agree.
What?
I
Go
have
ahead.
that same feeling. He was something of an anti-hero
Yeah,
hero because
I
he
just
was
think
a
humans are so
monster, but he was a hero.
right.
The same way I love
Right. He was an
Frankenstein's
anti-hero.
monster.
He was an anti-hero.
Yes,
Huh?
yes, yes.
Right? He
The
was that
same way I love
anti-hero that he was that anti-hero that you love to hate him, but you hate him to love him, and that kind of a thing where no
yeah,
matter what, yeah, he stomped around and he's knocked down buildings and shit. I'm like, what? He's big, okay? What do you expect? His ass is big, so, and his feet are big, everything is big. What
exactly.
did you expect him to come gently walking through? No, he's gonna knock some shit down, so what? But who do you call when you
Exactly.
want somebody else bigger and badder to kick ass and help save humans? Every time they call on Godzilla. And then the ungrateful little fickle humans are gonna make him into a complete villain. I'm not. I don't care. I, I don't care. I am not watching it.
Yeah,
So I'm
no.
like, I was glad to meet him and glad to honor the
So
70th anniversary of Godzilla. But yeah,
tell us more about
so what
the
do you think?
panel after dark. What were some of the questions? What were some of the questions that came up at the panel that you thought were interesting?
Okay,
The
at
witches
the
after
panel
dark or
that was
yeah.
interesting. I'm trying to remember back. My mind is um I
Yeah.
think it was more people's interest in we were not given an opportunity to have people itself in the audience question us. It was more prepared
Okay.
questions by a panel person and the
Yes.
moderator, and she had prepared questions that I don't know anything about, and then it was given to us. So it was more questions about what we consider our type of witchcraft or our type of paganism in a sense. What do we think of certain things about the
Mm.
public perception of us?
Mhm.
And how do we portray ourselves as modern witches? And what is it that we think um, is our rights pertaining to that. So there, it was more
Mhm.
like that, and then how one question was on how music plays into witchcraft. I am
Ah,
not a musician, so, but I was able to talk about how we sing a lot when we do ritual or chant a
yes.
lot, that kind of a thing. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, it was more. The questions were all more pertaining to the perceptions of the outward people and how they see
Yeah.
us and how we can relate to them and let people know what our thoughts are on I guess in some ways, like one person asking, one of the questions was about people's perception of when they hear the word witch and why some people
Mm.
would call themselves Wiccans as opposed to witch, and whereas I'm straight up just a witch, I'm not a Wiccan.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
and why I thought was the right thing for me to, everybody's
Mhm.
different in how they handle it, and for me it was straight
Absolutely.
where I am not Wiccan. I because witch, the word Wiccan just means, Wiccan with an is just simply means many male witches. So I'm not Wiccan. I'm a witch.
Yeah.
And that's the original
And
word for it, you know what I mean? Go
so
ahead.
so that actually when I hear the types of questions that were asked, that actually for me is very positive because you have this
Yeah,
audience there for Comic-Con, witches
yeah,
as a character are in many, many comic stories, movies, etc.
yeah,
So that was nice that they were able to actually have real witches on a panel
right,
and let
right,
the audience
yeah.
actually experience get some answers to some general questions. That's fabulous.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
I
that's a
do wish,
great
I do kind of wish that some of the audience members could have asked us questions, but it was not enough time.
right.
Time was a
Well,
factor.
at
I think it
least
was
it's an
only an hour for
overview.
each panel. Huh?
Wow. hope that's at
Yeah.
least an overview, and it
Yes. Yeah.
allows perhaps next year there will be more time, more questions, and maybe questions from the
Right.
audience.
Right. Yeah.
That would be
Yeah. Yeah.
great.
Absolutely.
That would be
And we're
great.
trying to go see if we can do it in San Diego, the biggest Comic-Con. We're trying to see if we can go there.
Right.
That would be nice. So,
Absolutely.
who knows? Who
That would be
knows? You never know.
fabulous.
I know, right?
That
I
would
would
be
love to do
fabulous.
that. So they mentioned it. So I said, if it happens, I'm there. I'm going to San Diego. If it happens, I'm going.
Yes.
So yeah. So
Definitely.
I would look forward to that. So I'm glad. I guess they enjoyed it very much. So let's see what happens. You never know. Let's manifest that into the new year of one of the things that we can try to
Yes.
accomplish. Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. So that was
So
really cool. Current
now we
affairs.
need to
Okay.
step into yes. Well,
Okay.
Star.
So we can kind of go into current affairs, and because it's kind of like this elephant in the room right now because of the political climate that we're in, and no matter what we want to say, everybody's show or everybody has something to say on it, and we are being human, and we are Americans as well here, and we can also state what we think. So, and again, to each his own, you don't have to agree with us because we none of us agree about things. We can agree to disagree, or what I mean, usually I think what it is that we can normally agree to disagree, except for me, my thoughts. I just think that this election was not just a political one; it was a very moral one. Um, and I just thought a few things. What do you think? What did you get from it? Before I go into my spiel about what I think. So what did you think? Rhonda, did you freeze? Oh dear. I think she may have frozen. Rhonda? Oh boy.
Hoping you can hear me.
Rhonda, did you freeze? Okay, there you
Mhm.
go. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. So what did you think before I go into my spiel?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did
you kind of
freeze.
froze for a minute
It
there.
was
So
happening
yeah,
while you were
okay.
speaking. Um,
Oh, okay. Uh-oh, there you go again.
yeah, unfortunately, I keep freezing. So perhaps it's better you start and a little bit.
Okay. So you go ahead then, and before you freeze again, you go ahead and speak. I'm waiting for you to go ahead.
My connection keeps going in and out. So I will go ahead and get started. Hopefully it doesn't go in and out again. I hope you can hear me okay right now, Star. Can you hear
Yeah, I
me
can hear
okay?
you. Go ahead. Yes, I can hear
I
you. Go
hope you can
ahead.
hear me. Excellent. So
Yes. Yes.
fabulous. So, you know, current affairs, what's happening? Here's from somebody who was a political science nerd back in college. That was my first area of focus, if you will. I was a political science nerd. So I have been knee deep in the politics of it all. And this election was pretty um
You're freezing up again. Rhonda? Okay. Okay. You froze up
hopefully I do
again.
okay. But hopefully yeah,
Okay.
it keeps happening, everybody. Long story
It
short, we
seems
are
it's yeah,
pretty
yeah.
divided. We know
Okay.
that. I just want to it's yeah, I do if Star, you go ahead because I keep freezing. I don't want to hold up the show. I'll come back later. Hopefully it will
Okay. All
relax
right.
with the
I am
freezing.
not. Yeah, yeah. I was really hoping to hear what you had to say, especially since you are saying that you're a political nerd kind of a thing. So I would love to have your input and I'm just a guest American in a way, because I'm originally from Canada. So I'm originally from Canada. I've been here from since the 80s, and I didn't get political or any. It was not my forte, but I started to get involved in watching how things played out here, and people's rights, and I began to see, because I did not experience racism until I came to the United States, so I did not see, even though I'm not, not that my head is in the sand kind of a thing. I knew there was a lot of political things in the sense of racism in this country, but I did, for the first time in my life, after traveling around the world, the first place that I ever experienced racism was in the United States, and it was not pretty. So I was kind of shell shocked by it, because I'd never experienced it before in my life, and so it was a bit difficult, um, being called names or things when I didn't even, other than to say hi, how are you, because I was so accustomed to saying that to everyone in Canada. It didn't occur to me that people would get offended by me saying hi and smiling and saying things to me. So because basically of my skin color, nothing more. So, or being female, um yeah. And then, so now it looks like you around for a bit, so why don't you
Yeah.
speak then, so that before I go into me. So go ahead, Rhonda.
It's really difficult, and
Okay, all
and
right, so I'll go ahead then. I'll go. I'm hoping you can hear me then.
I was going
um
to. I apologize again for my what it is. Can't explain it. But you know, you coming to the you've been here decades. You have experiences. You know, you've seen a lot. Let's put it that way. I hope you can
yeah,
still hear me. Can you
yeah,
still hear me, Star? Give
yes,
me
I
a
can hear
thumbs
you.
up.
Yes, I can
Um,
hear you. I
oh
can
my
hear you.
gosh, I keep losing the connection. That's
I can hear you. I can
so
hear you.
sad.
Yeah, I don't think you're hearing me. Okay. So I am apologizing, as Rhonda said, for her internet. I'm not sure what's wrong. So I'm going to kind of continue with what I was saying. And
I keep
essentially,
losing the.
in a, oh, good, you're back. You're good. Go ahead. Go ahead. You go ahead. Okay. I'll just continue then. Anyway, so like Rhonda said, I do have experience here of what I've seen. um, and I've seen how Black Americans are treated, and I've seen how people at some points would say to me, "Oh, you're just not one of them. You speak very differently," or things like that. And I found that kind of offensive, because I'd be looking at my skin and going, "I'm still the same color as everybody else." Oh dear, hold on one quick second. Apparently, my laptop is going. I don't want it to be gone. There we go. Good, plugged in. Okay. Okay, there we go. Back. All right. So, and essentially what I have found is that Black Americans have to, and I don't see the difference, because they're not looking at us as different because of our skin color. And being judged just based on your skin color is not a pleasant thing, or being defined by people who do not know us, but they're willing to define us, and we are not allowed to define them. So I did what they did to Black Americans. I started defining them. I started throwing them, and then they'll get all offended. I said, well, I'm only doing what you've done. I'm just telling you from my perspective. I'm not American in that sense. I was not born here. So I am going to do to you what I see you do. I'll treat you the way you treat us. And so they would get offended. And they would be like, well, why are you trying to treat me like that? I said, well, I'm just trying to define you the same way you have been trying to define us. It, it's logical in my head. So to me, I watched this campaign and this election as VP Harris and Walz lost this election to me. And the people can say every excuse in the book, the economy,
Mhm.
the whatever else they want to say. But to me, what I saw was
Mhm.
extreme misogyny, hatred, and racism. That's what I saw.
Mhm.
That's what costed
Mhm.
the election.
Mhm.
Absolutely extreme misogyny, hatred, and racism in its extreme.
Yes.
If they could have
And
brought a male dog out, if they could have brought a male dog out, and they would have voted for that male dog higher because it was
yes.
male. Okay,
Yes.
that's what I'm
Yes.
seeing in this country.
The
They can dress it up in the.
misogyny.
They can dress it up in the. They can dress it up as the economy or the different things. Yeah, like
Yeah.
whatever.
Bullshit.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but no, I
Oh,
call
good. Your
BS on
internet is
that.
back. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
know, but
call BS
since
on
you're
that.
back, I would love to hear what your take on is.
I I had literally just sat through listening to Black AF History just before the election, and if you haven't listened to that book, and I can't think of the author's name, but Black AF History is an amazing book. It goes back from, first European feet on this continent. Long story really short, the history is key and critical. We do not have an understanding of the history of folk in this country that are not that are pigmented. Folk who are pigmented. We
Right.
don't really have a long history of understanding of that. And even the political parties in this country and
Yeah.
how they were established, the economics of this country.
Right.
Economy. We are in a capitalist market economy. People are complaining about costs and prices. Look, market
And
economy tells you
lying
what?
to fit their
Market
narratives.
economy tells you that the price of goods is going to be as high as the market can withstand. So you came
Yes.
through a pandemic and the price of everything went up. Do you think those sellers are going to now charge you less because we're outside of a pandemic? If you paid $4 for that slice of bread during the pandemic, damn sure you're going to pay $4 today. They're not going to lower the price. You're paying
The
what you
only
can pay. You paid the money. That's the problem. And people are thinking that, oh, the president can go in and make changes. What have we heard in the most recent, and I've heard this from many different sectors. We have fucked around and now we're going to find out.
right,
We
right.
will find out because yes, I'm a little heated. I agree. I am a little
No,
heated
no, I understand. And
because
that's what I mean by it's the elephant in the
it's
room,
just
you know?
It's because we are making decisions on false information. We have
Yes.
beliefs and
Yes.
understandings about things, and we're acting on misinformation. And it's to our
Right. And
detriment.
that's the
It's to our
issue. That's the
detriment.
issue. Yeah. And
Yeah.
what I
So,
find appalling is World War II veterans fought Russia and Germany and all those countries
yeah.
to for American freedom. They
Yeah.
fought fascism. They fought
And
those
died.
things
Yep.
and died for it. And then we have
Yep.
people now rooting for Putin.
Yep.
And that is appalling to me. And then I
Yes.
was watching everyone and everything, and as the outsider looking in, I am like,
Mhm.
I just never knew Americans were so uneducated on so many levels. I am not from here, and
Yep.
how am I knowing the education of the history more than some of the people who were born and raised here and are older than I am, or whatever?
Yeah.
I'm trying to wrap my mind around that concept of how do they not know their own history? And
We don't
I am
teach
sitting
that.
there,
We
it,
don't
it's
teach
it's
it.
it's baffling, right?
We say history is written by the victors, and the history that is taught in this country. And mind you, we're in an environment now where education is truly, I mean, there's talk about literally removing or getting rid of the Department of Education. So
Right, yeah, I saw
that is
that.
a
Yeah, I
potential
was
thing.
just like,
But right, we don't talk about we share stories in this country that are stories that are not based on the real experience.
Right,
History
right.
is written by the victors, and
Yeah,
the history that we teach is not the full history. We are very selective
exactly,
in our
exactly.
history, and in that leads to having a population that has a very uneducated and biased view of what real is the reality. So we have a long way to go. But here's the one thing I will say that's a very positive thing. And it took me a minute to get here. And that was to recognize that yes, we are in a period of dramatic change. This is a period of change. And it does require, and this is the here's the spiritual part now. It does require going into this darkness so that we can come out the other side. So this
Yeah.
tumult,
Adapting,
this
adapting,
tr-
do going through adaptation, or what I call
yes,
adaptive magics,
and
which I said I would love to write a book on adaptive magic
it's
because
time.
the whole transformation of things. And
Yes.
I am watching things, and I think what Americans forget about education here. I'm going to say this because I experienced it myself here in the United States, in New York City.
Mm,
And two things that I've observed within the last few days. One,
mhm.
education wise, if they remove the Department of Education, America is already in a poor educational status. Um,
Yeah.
then basically, excuse my language, we Americans will be fucked. Then I watched in New York. I tried
Mhm.
to get my son into the International Baccalaureate School on the on the
Mhm.
east side by the waterfront. And to
Yes.
get in there, majority of them were all rich kids. The reason I was
Mm,
thinking about it is because international baccalaureate schools put them at a level that's higher to meet the rest of the country, not
yes.
the country, rest of the world.
The world.
Because
Yes.
yes, so the rich people in this country send their kids to private schools where they can learn international baccalaureate languages, not just languages, but studies of world studies, so they can make sure that their kids are on the level with the rest of the world. The rest of America is
Yes.
already at a no, you know, no level here with that. And now you want to take it away
Correct.
altogether. And then you wonder
Correct.
why someone does not know that the ACA healthcare
Mhm.
laws are Obamacare, which was brought.
Yes.
And someone today was on a video saying, I want them to get rid of Obamacare. I hate it so much. I only want to have ACA. That's better. And somebody said to him, you do know that's the same thing, right? And he was like,
Yeah.
no. And they said, yeah, it's the same thing.
Yes.
He goes, why did they give it two different names? I'm like, yeah, right. Why did Republicans give it that
Mhm.
name? It was meant,
Yes.
if they gave it the name Obamacare,
Yes.
it was meant to make you hate it, because
Yes.
they could then turn around and sell you the idea that, do you want to get rid of Obamacare, right? Because you don't need that.
Yes.
You will prefer the ACA,
Right.
right? Uneducate
Yes.
you, like an illusion, give you the
Mislead
sleight of
you.
hand, believe in this one
Yep.
so we can get rid of this one, without people
Yes.
knowing, gee, wait a minute, you're lying to me. It's the same thing. Why would you ask me to get rid of
Same
one when it's the
thing.
same thing? So now
Exactly.
he has just voted, which he needs it because he is in bad condition, but he voted
Mhm.
to have it removed, essentially, if according to Mike, whatever his name is, that's on the GOP speaker, he said they were going to butcher
Mhm.
it, the
Yes.
Obamacare, which makes no bloody
Yes.
sense. So I am
Nope.
benefiting from Obamacare. And Obamacare is not
Yes.
insurance. What people don't understand, it's not insurance, it's laws that was expanded
It's
upon to allow them to have pre-existing conditions taken care of, to allow preventative care and all the other care that they all have, they're all living off of and flourishing under. And now you just
it's
voted for them to gut it off of you. And you did
yes.
not know that the
Yes.
GOP gave nobody else gave it that other name of Obamacare. The
Right.
Republicans did that.
Yeah.
Nobody
It
else did that. They
it
did that on purpose because
no.
they knew that you would consider it. This is where the hatred and racism came in. They wanted you to see it as Obamacare so you can hate it that much because of the brownness of that man, the name of that man, the hate that you have for him. Really. And you fell for it. And this is what I don't understand the concept of. There's that, and then
Mhm.
it's just so interesting. There was
It's true.
I forgot the name of the movie, and the movie was based on a part where the teacher was teaching them about the tariff in 1930, the Hawley Smoot tariff. As that history
Yeah.
nerd on you would know it. And guess who introduced that 1930 Hawley Smoot tariff? The Republicans. That was done in 1930, which the teacher
Yes.
then said, so, and how did that work? And all the kids were like, and he was like, it did not work, right? It then took the country into the
No.
extreme depression. And I'm sitting here going, so they had a
Yep.
history of it. I didn't even know about that, but they had a history
Yes.
of it already
That was in
in this
Ferris
country. That is
Bueller,
not
wasn't
new.
it? That was in Ferris Bueller.
In Ferris Bueller, you are
Yep.
so correct. It was that.
Yes.
And I remember
Yep.
seeing that
Yep.
because I'm a movie
Yep.
buff. I'm a movie buff, and I remember seeing that, and I'm
Yes.
going, there's no way that's true, right? So already it's true in American history of how tariffs took the United States, the Hawley Smooth tariff, took the United
Yep.
States into the extreme depression, and Americans are
Yes.
voting for a person who says he is going to raise it 100% in
Yes.
tariffs.
Or
So
2 or
if in the
whatever, or whatever.
1930s, yeah, if in the 1930s it took this country into the Great Depression, bloody hell, why would you vote for such a thing now? Americans,
It was
and then to have them do this thing of where it spiked on Google on November 5th and November
mm,
6th, asking what are tariffs and how does it work? And what is
yes,
Obamacare and what is
I
ACA?
vote.
And can I change my vote? I'm just
Yes.
like, wait a minute. You
Yes.
waited until
Are you
all this
crazy?
time, you bloody
Yes.
hell waited
Yes.
until November 5th and November 6th
Yes.
to then question what you were voting on? Critical
Yes.
thinking skills is already off the table for
Out
education
the
in this
window.
country. Because if you were critically
Gotta do
thinking,
better.
everything that came out of those people's mouths, you would have questioned and gone and done your history research on. Not the
Absolutely.
disinformation, but your own research of what it
Absolutely.
really is. And you're not going to be doing it on November 5th and November 6th. And then wondering the last question,
No.
can
No.
I
No.
change my vote?
But
No, you can't change your vote. You've made the mistake already.
yes. No, you can't. Too late.
So if we go
Too
into a
late.
Great
So we get to
Depression,
deal with the
remember,
outcome.
yes, remember the Hawley Smoot tariffs in 1930 that took the United States into the Great Depression. Just saying. Anyways, as you
Yeah.
said,
It
the good
exacerbates
part about it
that
is,
exacerbated that situation.
yes, yeah. But the best part is we will all have to learn adaptive magics. We will all have to
Yep.
learn how to
Have to go
survive
through
on
this.
whatever comes at us. Yes, we all have to go through that learning pain of history repeating itself, which if
Hmm.
they did not, I did not know that Americans had this before in their history until today. And if I did not, if I, well, when I watched it in
Yes.
Ferris Bueller, but I thought it was, was not real until I researched it and I was like, wait a minute, it was real?
Yeah.
So
No, we've had.
American knows this? Americans
Yeah.
know this, but they went and they
Yeah.
did not
We've been down
know?
this road.
Like how? I don't understand the logic of
It's
that.
very
If there
interesting,
is a history of
but
something,
we're going to go through these, as I
adaptive
like to call
magics.
it, death throes. Death
Yes.
throes. That's what I'm calling it. Because it is. It's a
Okay.
profound change that is likely to happen.
Yes.
We're going to experience
Yeah.
a profound change. May not be what we were hoping for, but
Yeah.
hopefully
Such is life.
it'll allow us to address, hopefully, some of these underlying
Yep. Which is, yeah, which
maladies
is the
within the country,
misogyny,
whatever.
which is the
Yes.
misogyny, the hatred, and the
Yes.
racism. If
And the
we can
racism.
address
Yes.
these three things, we can get through our adaptive life of the next few
Yes.
years. Because
Yep.
this is where the American politics have gotten to. Those three major
Yes.
things. And until they get through it,
Yes.
que sera, sera. So, people, adaptive magics, okay?
Exactly.
whatever comes at you, learn to deal
Let's
and
get
move
into
on.
it. So
On to astrology. Oh, wait. Anything
now
else?
let us
Let's see
take.
what else.
We know.
Oh,
Well,
right. Yes,
I
yes, yes.
just want to approach the
Uh-huh.
question. We are now we're 2024 is coming to a close. We'll soon be at the end, and that means Witches Fest 2025
Yes.
has to already be in the
Yes.
works. So I know you've already posted the event. People are seeing that on Facebook, etc. Do you remember the dates off the top of your head? It's the second
I think it's the second
Saturday.
Saturday, so
Is
I
that
think it's the
correct?
12th.
In
I believe it's the 12th off the top of my
of
head. So,
excellent.
yeah.
Yes, of June.
Yeah, July
Second Saturday
12th.
of July
Yes, the second Saturday of July. And yeah.
2025.
So I hope to see many of you
Y'all,
there. So there's that. And please do RSVP on Facebook. I'm not sure how long we're gonna stay on
yes.
Facebook because I am kind of not liking all these different platforms with all the disinformation and everything. And I'm so tired either of the
Mhm.
disinformation or the suppression of things that you do want out that's proper. Like when they suppress every year, they suppress Witches Fest because of the name. And yeah,
Mhm.
so there's that. Do you have any classes? I know I have classes coming up. But
Mhm.
you
I
can say
do.
your classes first and then I'll talk about mine.
Okay.
What classes do
So,
you have?
as y'all know, I am tarot is my drug of choice, as I like to say sometimes. But I have a Monday tarot roundtable that I host at Riverside Wellness, and it's a wellness center in Milford, New Jersey, right on the Delaware. It's a beautiful spot, beautiful town. So every other Monday, I host a tarot roundtable, Monday tarot roundtable. That's from 6 to 8, and then I'll also be launching. We had to push this back, but I will be launching an intro tarot course in January, also at Riverside Wellness. So those are my in person. I have some vending events coming up locally, also in the area, but I also want to share that my virtual classes on the Magical Path School, they have been going on for years now, and it's the Magical Path School, magical with a K, pathschool.com.
Yes.
They are the tarot classes, and there are 5 levels of classes on that. They have a 25% off sale right now. So you guys, if you're interested in jumping on that, please do. That's on the magicalpathschool.com. And
Okay,
those
great.
are intense, all levels.
Right. I was just gonna ask you where is it, where can they reach out to you on with that? Awesome. Okay. And we just put out the
Yeah,
registration is
yeah.
now open for first beginning with first degree at WFT Academy of Pagan Studies.org. Um, and classes registration is from now until I believe December 15th, because and it's because of that we have to check references and all of that, and that's how the process goes, the registration process, in time for us to be able to start classes on January 5th of 2025. So
Fabulous.
looking forward to a bunch of new students as we've had every year. So I can't wait to have many of you join us. And we've had a few people who had to leave years ago to do their higher studies at different universities, and now they're back. Now that they finished with
Oh,
some of
that's
those, so
fabulous.
it would be great to welcome back some of our older students that are want to starting back up. So welcome all of them back, and any new students. All right, and
Right
our classes
on.
go all the way through to third degree, and then intensives, which is like I guess university level, because once you become, or if you're choosing to become a reverend, we prefer you do all of that, because you will need to know how to be that reverend, and
Yes.
not just for second and third degree. So yeah, for New York State, for us to be able to ordain you as a reverend, we have to have you go through certain levels, and so that's what we do. All right, so we do hope to see
Fabulous.
many of you guys at both Rhonda's classes and my classes. All right?
Yes, right on.
Okay.
And a little something about the other shows here at Magical Witchy World TV.
Yeah. All right. So we are back with astrology. So
Excellent.
we began last week, last Friday, with speaking about November horoscope. And it says Pluto in Aquarius will totally transform our world, and it certainly bloody is. So by
Oh,
the end
yes.
of this month, nothing will look the same, and we've already seen lots of that. So let's look at your November 2024 monthly horoscope for each zodiac sign. And we began last week with Aries through Virgo. So tonight we're going to do Libra through Pisces. So I'll begin with Libra. All right. So Libra,
Yes.
your monthly affirmations is my strong self-esteem attracts money and abundance like a magnet. I love that. So did you hear that?
Yes.
My strong self-esteem attracts money and abundance like a magnet. Scorpio season's investigative forecast has had you digging into your finances for the future. So Libra, November horoscope for 2024 kicks off with a powerful new moon that helps you redefine your relationship to money. So, it's advising you this month to start to make a budget and stick to it. Any social events or
Mhm.
spontaneous outings with friends is going to be a challenge because you want to stick to your commitment of budgeting your money and making sure that you can have start stacking up some of it as your cosmic ruler Venus faced off with party hardy Jupiter a few days after that new moon. You'll have to use some extra restraint to keep from overindulging, and the full moon tonight may bring up some complicated emotions, but you might be surprised to find out that things are working in your favor behind the scenes. So once Sagittarius season starts, your inner social butterfly is ready to emerge and have some holiday fun. However,
Mhm.
Mercury retrograde's classic communication clashes and scheduling flubs could jumble the last week of the month, but you'll be okay and able to get your point across under the new moon that's carrying us into December. All right.
Yes. That's right. We have a blue moon this month, our second new moon at the
Yeah,
end of the
yeah.
month. All
Well,
right,
it's what is it?
Scorpio.
It's December 1st, isn't it? Is it December 1st?
It's,
Yeah, I think it's December 1st.
I, I
So it's
I thought it
it's
was
it's at the
November. I
cusp.
thought it was the
It's at
last
the
day of
cusp.
the month.
It's at
It's
the cusp.
carrying
Like
over.
it's yeah, in the midnight at midnight it kind of blends
Midnight.
right there. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So for Scorpios, your monthly affirmation is I trust myself to always show up as my most authentic and powerful self. Fab. Happy solar return, Scorpio. The sun is shining in your sign, and your Scorpio horoscope for November 2024 is full of new beginnings. That new moon we had on the 1st allowed you to see deep into your own heart and to connect with your higher self and decide exactly how you want to show up in the world. Once your cosmic co-ruler Mars zoomed into your public facing 10th house a couple of days later, you were able to apply those new moon lessons to your career trajectory. Just avoid getting caught up in petty power games as reactive Mars is facing off with edgy Pluto, your other planetary ruler. Think before you act, as your initial impulses may not be what's best for your big picture goals. Conversations flow with a lot more ease and harmony mid month as sweet Venus entered your communication sector on the 11th, followed by an exciting and sensual full moon in your relationship zone tonight, November 15th. Expect the unexpected when it comes to love. Once the sun leaves your sign on November 21st, Sagittarius season gets you thinking about money ahead of the holidays and thinking severely about finances in 2025. I can attest to this. You'll want to be
Yes.
especially cautious. Seriously. You'll want to be especially
Yeah.
cautious about spending once Mercury retrograde starts a few days later. But you can use the new moon at the tail end of the month to make some financial plans for your future. All right.
Okay. And Sagittarius, your monthly affirmation: I release myself from past hurts and I will not allow guilt to hold me back. I like that. The new moon on November 1st was an introspective one, full of spiritual vibes and self reflection. But your Sagittarius horoscope for November has no shortage of excitement in store, so be ready. And chatty Mercury hit your sign the next day and brought lots of new ideas and plenty of social stamina. With amorous Venus still in your sign as well, it was a time to get your flirt on, especially as
Hmm.
Venus was activated by your lucky cosmic ruler Jupiter. The full moon tonight puts you back on track, grabbing your attention and forcing you to tidy up your day to day routine before your birthday season takes over your calendar. Get your schedule organized, but leave plenty of wiggle room for surprises. A week later, the sun will enter your sign, so you'll feel the solar magic. Mercury starts retrograding on November 25th, which can make it difficult to get your point across the way you'd like to. But you'll be able to make a clear minded birthday wish on the new moon that brings this month to a close. All right.
Fabulous. All right, Capricorn. Your monthly affirmation is I am a positive force for change, inspiring others to uplift our community. So important. Again, I'm a
Yeah.
positive force for change, inspiring others to uplift our community. Scorpio season has been immersing you in a more social and community-centric atmosphere. So having your Capricorn horoscope for November begin with a soul-expanding new moon is just what you needed. Think about your hopes and wishes for the future and how you can manifest more like minded people to bring your visions to life. Lucky for you, attracting what you desire will be easy to do so since lush planet Venus entered your sign on November 11th. Use this Venusian charm to your advantage through the rest of the month. Mid-month is monumental as your cosmic ruler Saturn wraps up its retrograde in your communication zone tonight, November 15th, the same day as the sensual and inspiring full moon in Taurus. Creativity, romance, and passion projects can benefit now. So talk seriously about your plans while also staying open to surprises. On November 19th, transformational Pluto leaves your sign permanently, at least in this lifetime. Something important in your soul has crystallized, and you might feel the shift. Energy slows during the last third of November, especially once Metro retrogrades begins on November 25th. But make sure you're getting lots of rest and use the new moon at the end of the month as an excuse to do some serious self care.
All right. So, Aquarius,
Yes.
your monthly affirmation: I attract career opportunities that allow me to shine at work. So, power is a big theme throughout your Aquarius horoscope for this month. And it all began with the intense new moon in Scorpio on November 1st. Your public facing ambitions are on fire, and you've got what it takes to make them happen. But you'll get even further if you allow your intuitive sensibilities to act as the co pilot to your logical ones. You'll feel more motivated to take charge in relationships as go getter Mars hits your partnership zone, initiating movement and action with others. Your two cosmic rulers keep you busy mid month as responsible Saturn wraps up its retrograde tonight, November 15th, pushing you to get real about your finances and face some home truths. You've got to start squirreling away some of that, okay? As the full moon is close to
Mhm.
home tonight, and it's in tight conjunction with your other and more unpredictable planetary ruler, Uranus, memories can flood in, but you're seeing them from a new perspective now. Speaking of, transformational Pluto is in your sign for the long haul, starting on November 19th, beginning an alchemical identity shift that'll take 2 decades to complete. And Sagittarius season puts you in the mood to party, but Mercury retrograde could stir up some social drama. So if you need to smooth things out, do it under the new moon at the end of the month. Okay? All right. On to
Right on.
Pisces.
All right. On to Pisces. Pisces, your affirmation for November. I welcome new experiences with an open heart and a curious mind. Again, I welcome new experiences with an open heart and a curious mind. Scorpio season has you craving deep and transformational new experiences, and your Pisces horoscope for November 2024 is giving you plenty of opportunities to secure exactly that. It was advisable to keep an open heart and mind during the new moon on November 1st, as your highest aspirations started taking form, turning a fantasy into a reality. Your dreamy cosmic ruler Neptune is in your sign, forming a magical triangle with sharp witted Mercury and go getter Mars. So blend your intuition with action this week in your career and beyond. You'll feel a subtle but pleasant sense of control wash over you mid month as responsible planet Saturn is wrapping up its annual retrograde in your sign. Then, the full moon rising in your communication zone tonight on the 15th catalyzes all sorts of unexpected conversations. Some surprising but pleasant news may be on the way. Your professional life takes center stage some come Sagittarius season, and you'll need to give it some extra attention once Mercury retrograde begins on November 25th. Take any snags in stride and leave some wiggle room with timing. And don't worry too much because the new moon that wraps up the month could offer you a fresh solution to an old problem.
All right.
Whoop,
That
whoop.
sounds awesome.
So,
All
wrapping
right. So
all
on
that up
to,
now, tarot
yeah.
time.
All righty. So what are we pulling a card on tonight?
Full moon in Taurus, all that lovely, lush energy of earth. And I'm just going to say, I
Okay.
really want us to on how we are caring for self, self care, feeling good, taking
Yes,
care of
big deal
everything.
right now.
Yes. How do we make
And
ourselves
if you
feel good and take
not
care
only
of
that,
ourselves?
if you if you need that self-care, demand it. You deserve it.
Yes.
Because a lot of us need some self-care now right now. So do it. Much
Yes.
needed, much
Yes.
needed. Okay.
Most
So let's see what we
definitely.
got. Oh dear. What you got?
What's
What you got?
I got the emperor.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right.
I got
The,
the
the,
emperor.
the,
I'm not gonna. You
the
can't. I
majors are playing big tonight, I
what?
think. The majors are playing big. Okay, go ahead. The
Oh,
majors, I
okay.
think I said, is playing big tonight. Go ahead.
So for me, the emperor is just reminding myself. So what do I need to take care of? Remember, Rhonda, that you are sovereign. This is my world. This is my life. I need to pave my way, and also remind myself that the boundaries I set in place are the boundaries that I set in place. I don't need to
Yes.
compromise my
Yes. I like that.
boundaries. I need to make certain that I am caring for self. And
Yes.
that emperor is really reminded me make certain that you
All right.
remember that the crown sits on your head.
Yeah.
What'd you
All
get,
right.
Star?
So as I told you, the majors are big time. The King of
Oh my
Pentacles.
god. Oh my god.
Yes. Yes. And I tend to pick pentacles a lot.
Yes, you
And
do.
right? Me and the money. Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Okay. So the king, okay, of pentacles, and the way he sits and he's holding on to that big ass coin. And you and he's like, don't play. I am holding on to this. No one's taking it out of my cold dead hands. Or whatever
Nope.
else that they want to say. And he's very protective of his money. He's going to become, not that he's going to be miserly, he's just going to be a bit frugal,
Yes.
suggesting frugality and beginning to squirrel away monies and things that they need of value. They're going to need it. A long haul of a few years
Yep.
ahead of us. So it's just reminding me of the things I have to do and how I have to. It just feels like now that I'm running out of time, kind of a thing, and I need to step up the game, basically,
Mm, mm,
and
mhm.
bear in mind of certain things. But he's, like you said, he's wearing that crown on his head, and yes, it's
Yeah.
my boundaries, my choices, my everything. So I've got to step myself up and get certain
Yeah.
things finished up in
Yeah.
place, get it all there,
Yes.
because I am holding on to that bloody thing and with both hands, and I'm not giving it up.
No,
All
right on. It's so
right.
key. It's so
Okay.
important. That's amazing. That's fabulous.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Fabulous. Awesome.
Okay.
Well,
So yeah, we want to thank everyone in the chat tonight that was here or now or in the playback. And we want to thank
and
everyone again for, all the things, like, yes, we gave our opinions. I hope you took no offense. None was intended, because it's just simply, just like you have an opinion, we have an opinion, a right to that. And so just we can agree to disagree. It's real simple. All right. In the meantime, we hope you continue to be part of us. And please,
yeah.
Rhonda.
Like, subscribe, and please do share. We really want to hear from you too. So please share any recommended guests you'd like us to invite in. Share that with us also. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah. Or any topic that
Awesome.
you would like us to
Well,
speak
thank
on,
you,
or have a
Star.
panel on. Yeah.
Y-
All right. And thank you as
Yes.
well. Okay. Yeah, I kind of gave my perspective from the
Yes.
outside point of view. All right. Have a good night,
Yes.
everyone. Oh,
And
and
I
blessed
know
full
I
moon
was.
to you all. Okay, don't forget, tonight
Yes.
was the Taurian,
Blessed.
Taurian full moon. So blessed Taurian full moon to you all.
Yes. Yes. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next time.
All right. See you next week.